So our puppies are a week and a day old now, and they are starting to pull themselves up onto their paws properly now, in the first little steps of walking around. There you go, you can see a little grey boy getting his forepaws underneath him, holding his head up. So instead of being the sort of little slithery slugs that drag themselves around like little seals, they're actually starting to move about a little bit more like actual little dogs now. Over the next couple of days, we're going to start expecting to have their ear canals start to open up, so they'll start to hear sounds properly, and we should start getting the first little peeps of eyeballs appearing as well. So generally lupines do develop slightly quicker than like normal dogs, as it were. They are usually a few days ahead in the development stages. They're growing, everyone's growing really nicely. They've all put on plenty of weight and are doing really well. We're weighing them every day, and we are now on their 6th day of early neurological stimulation, which helps them to develop brain pathways, and also for them to develop a tolerance to stress. A lot of research has shown that introduction of a very small controlled amounts of stress, as the puppies are in this early development stage, it helps them to deal with stress later on throughout their adult life. Bella's coming now to clean up. So these first couple of weeks with the puppies are in a lot of ways for the human caretakers the easiest couple of weeks, because mummy does most of the work. She cleans up after them, she's feeding them, she's keeping everybody nice and happy and healthy, which obviously makes my life a bit easier. Once they start to actually have little legs and moving around, then you'll start to see that there's a lot more work for me to do. I'm going to have to be cleaning up as they start to toilet by themselves. There's going to be toilet places that I'm going to have to clean up, whereas at the moment, as you can see there, Bella is cleaning up for me. There's not really very much mess in the whelping box. As you can see, it's pretty clean and tidy, as mummy's doing all the cleaning up at the moment. But that will change as they start to get up and start moving around, and then we're going to obviously start introducing some solid food as well once they're about 3 weeks old, so they can start having a little munch and getting onto some solids, which will make things easier for Bella. She won't have to keep feeding these little fatties quite so much. And they will then start to move. They'll move out of the front room for the most part, and into an area that we have in the kitchen with the other dogs, where they'll be fenced off away from them, so they'll have their own little area that they will be together, supervised when we're home looking after them, and they'll start to be able to adventure around and see more things and be introduced to the cats and all sorts of things like that. Yes, hello boo boo, you're doing a very good job. So these first early couple of weeks are the easier bit for the human side of things, although it's the hardest work for little Bells here. But then once we're in a couple of weeks and they're out and they're mooching around a bit more, that's when things will start to get a little bit more interesting.